White Sox fans, it's Sunday, November 23rd, 2025, and surprise, the White Sox did win a series. They won 2 series, in fact, in the playoffs, but they lose in 7 games in the ALCS to the Baltimore Orioles. So you see, we beat Toronto 4-3 in 10 innings. Cease pitches well, and we stay, hot into the second game. Win that one with Buehler. And Andrew Vaughn wins Wild Card Series MVP along with Division Series MVP against those Seattle Mariners who came into the series as the division winners of the AL West, hoping to make it to their first World Series. But we stonewall them, not in the first game here, but win 3 straight to take the Division Series against the Seattle Mariners. In 4 games. The pitching really wasn't elite, but for some reason in these playoffs, the offense came alive. And Andrew Vaughn, 1193 OPS in the playoffs. That includes all 3 series. So after he struggled in the regular season, he comes back in the playoffs. If I can find it, I don't actually know where it is. Isn't it here? Yeah. So in the postseason, notches a whole WAR, which doubles up his .5 that he had in the regular season. And he's no slouch in the postseason. You look at these 4 tries that he's got, career 183 OPS plus hitter. Good things coming from Andrew Vaughn in the playoffs. And then we play the dastardly Baltimore Orioles, who I think you see they lose in the World Series once again to the Atlanta Braves. And the NL East, man. 2 World Series to the Mets. The Braves have 2 in the last 4 years. The Nats won it in 2019. The NL East is dominating Major League Baseball right now. The Braves beat the Mets in the divisional series, but you see, we lose to the Orioles in 7 games, man. How can that happen? They are our kryptonite. Last season, if you remember, we lost to them in the Wild Card Series after winning 99 games. So we start off 2-0, 3-8, 2-6, down 2-1 in the series, come back to Chicago and win in extra innings to tie the series at 2. You had Benny Montgomery hit a walk-off 2-run homer to break the tie of 1. Gage Canning pitches a good game, or Griffin Canning, excuse me. Come back, third game in Chicago, you win 3-1, and now the pitching's come on, but the offense has died down a little bit, and you're saying, up 3-2, going back to Baltimore, let's see what happens. Drop the first one, okay, don't like to see that. Anything can happen in Game 7, and we lose by 1 run. In the playoffs, we have been routinely ousted by 1 run or fewer. Well, you can't lose by fewer than a run, and we've found that out quite a bit. So after that, I thought about it in terms of real life. After winning 99 games a season ago and you lose in the first round of the playoffs, you lose in the first round of the playoffs in 2023. This season you make it all the way to the ALCS. But look at that record, 80-82. You were the worst team to ever qualify for the MLB postseason. Do you think that the public would be upset that I cleaned house? Because I did. We have a new manager, Andreas Gabler, who favors sabermetrics more than Griffall. He likes to pinch hit, he likes to steal, and stealing's not a sabermetric thing. But he shifts, plays with an opener, favors the pitching and batting matchups, aggressive runner. So I like traffic on the base paths. He's a tactician. I'm excited about Gabler here as our manager. We bring up Patrick Leland from AAA after guiding the Charlotte Knights to the championship series. In that league, they lost, to the Columbus Clippers, who had a good year as well, obviously. Bring up Jose Escanio from AAA as well. 3.89 ERA for the Knights under his guidance. Sung-Ho Lee in his first season with the Barons. We saw some nice players go through there and improve, so I was happy to bring him up. I did sign Chip Hale, so we hired him out of the system. He used to be the manager for the Diamondbacks in 2015-16. He's good as a first base coach, and Andreas Gabler is obviously an outside hire as well. I didn't want to put Patrick Leland in the number 1 spot just yet. He's 34, got some room to grow. Nicky Delmonico will slot in as the third base coach. Former White Sox, now the inside track to a job here for really as long as he wants. He was great in Birmingham and Charlotte as well as the hitting coach. And we've overhauled the minor league system as well. So we are moving towards a youth movement. Carlos Pena is even better. I mean, up to an 80 potential. Conrad Bonert is on the 40-man, number 29 prospect in baseball. His expectation was already to be in the majors, so I obliged him. He's with us. Pierce George up to 87 and in AAA. Our scout thinks he could come up to the majors right now. I don't think so. I actually forgot to switch him to a two-way player, so he was playing first base. He was not playing first base until now. I added Esteban Gonzalez to the 40-man as well, and obviously Ahuna and Moda. So our system's up to 18th. I think the highest we've been in this series is 15th, so we have room for improvement, but it'll come. It'll come. Here are the salaries, what they're looking like. We've reached the free agency filing period. $97 million down from $140 million payroll last season. I've maxed out the player development budget. I don't plan on spending the $80 million, or even really $100 million that we had access to. There's just not enough talented free agents out there on the market. I could go shopping around. I'll see, but right now I like what we have. I have too many young players that I want to give opportunities to overpay veterans right now. I mean, if you look at the major league statistics, Colas is 27, Roberts 28, Band's 30, Montgomery's 23, Ferris is 23, Wes Cass 23, Vaughn's 27, and Harry Ford's going to be 23 pretty soon. I have too many young players coming up. Ahuna, Tatum's 26. Like, I don't want to pay some 30-year-old Starling Marte to come in and take at-bats from these guys. There's no point. Pitching side, I am going to invest something here. We've lost Buehler and we've lost Dylan Cease to free agency. Cease took the qualifying offer. I didn't offer it to Buehler. In hindsight, I think I should have, but I have faith that I might be able to get him in the free agent market for more than $21 million over one season. We have Giolito, Brandon Williamson, Alex Lang is definitely not a starter, Jonathan Stever, and Conrad Bonert. This pitching staff will change quite a bit. We did bring back Mark Leiter. He's a fan favorite. I don't know why he's unhappy with his role on the team. He's up with the big league club. We claimed Jose Soriano on waivers from the LA Angels. He had 1.5 WAR last season for them. And I don't really know why they waived him, but we've got him now. So the bullpen's looking pretty decent so far. Christian Maney got some votes for reliever of the year. Veras and Benny Montgomery came in third and fourth in AL Rookie of the Year voting. As expected, Julio Rodriguez and Ellie De La Cruz won the MVPs. That's what the big league team looks like right now. I purchased Colton Wong from an independent league. And the other moves I made, we lost Dylan Dingler. We lost Zach McKinstry. Dylan Cease rejected the qualifying offer. And that was about it. Nobody really got claimed off waivers or anything. So the players that I'm having my eye on this offseason are a few. And actually, Lara shouldn't be on the default shortlist. He should be on the interesting players shortlist. But let's see, maybe the world champion Braves want to trade him. No, they don't. Why would they? Dylan Cease obviously is up there. The control is a problem, and I wouldn't want to sign a pitcher like him right now to this kind of deal. We will get a supplemental first-round pick for him. Worst comes to worst, but I'm not paying him $32 million when he's 39 years old. No shot. If his ask comes down, maybe. Bo Bichette's been hurt the whole year. He's out 6 to 7 more weeks with that torn labrum. I'm going to request a scouting report on him. Our accuracy is only average, but he's a fan favorite. He can come in and maybe play right-handed second base. We have a need for that, and for only $5.5 million, I'd be happy to offer him a contract. Walker Buehler, like I said, I probably should have offered the qualifying offer, but I wasn't too sure. He wants 5 years, $120 million, and I think that, I don't know, maybe a decline happens when he's 31. I did get an offer. I could have traded for Zach Wheeler again, I think for Dylan Dingler, but I declined that. Taylor Rogers, lefty reliever, Very good stats, not great results for the Dodgers over the past 2 years, but he only wants $6.5 million, so he would be a signing if we had money lying around. George Valera is one of those Columbus Clippers that beat us in the AAA Championship Series. 148 OPS in AAA. He's a lefty and kind of like redundant with a few guys we have. He's a good player for how much money he wants, and it's just a minor league option signing at 25 for him. I have Nick Ahmed up here again. I don't think I'll sign him, but he only wants $3.6 million. In 55 games with Oakland after we cut him, he was actually better than any other time we had him. But that infield range, maybe he just was unhappy with us. I don't think we'll bring him back, though. He's just keeping tabs on him. Jonathan India is another right-handed hitting utility guy. He was awful with Seattle this season, negative 1.3 WAR. I don't even know how you get that bad and keep your job. But he only wants $1.6 million, and I think if he wanted to come in on a minor league with a major league option, I'd be happy with that. Yosan Mendez is coming from the Chicago Cubs organization. Really unique skill set. Still has options left, but he wants a major league option deal as well. Brian Abreu, $1.8 million only for him, and he had 1.8 WAR for Colorado, 3.68 FIP, although he does have a 4.77 ERA. His ERA has never been good, but he's been stuck in Colorado, so I'm not going to fault him for that. Zach Eflin, also $2.2 million budget option. Was okay with San Diego, 3.98 FIP in 88 innings. Israel Pineda, can't play catcher, but he's a good captain, and so I'll entertain him in AAA for us. And Carlos Hernandez, finally, I think could be a good reliever after a bad season in New York. So these are all the budget options I have. Really, I'd love to bring back Cease, and I'd love to bring back Bichette. I think I'm going to bring in Rogers. And then Eduardo Rodriguez, I almost forgot. I'm probably going to trade for him. He's only got one more year on the deal he signed with Detroit. And they only want Adam Frazier, who we have his contract for free. And I don't know if I really see a permanent role for him. Even though I lost McKinstry, I want Maui Ahuna there. Although I would like him as a veteran presence. If we sign Bichette, it's kind of moot. And I might just add Frazier to this trade. I'd like to keep around Yennier Cano. He's a good reliever with an option left. And Stever, I'd think about, but his ratings are too good. I think I might pull the trigger on this right now. Frazier, how much money are you willing to take on, LA? Sure, take that guy. 35%. What about 30? Brubaker? He was good for us in AAA. He's angry, though. He wants to be with the team. I don't want him in the system anymore. I'd give you Palish. It's 27. And then for 45% of the deal, that guy. I'll go for 45% of the deal. These 5 players, not going to miss them too much. They take almost half Eduardo Rodriguez's salary, and we make him the newest White Sox. So that will patch one of the holes in the rotation that we have. And we finally have another lefty starter that's established. I think Williamson will start the year in the rotation. I'm not too upset about that, but we got 2 more holes. Lang will not be a starter, and Stever, I'd be a little bit worried about him starting at this point in his career based on what he's shown. We have guys back here like Mania and Abbott that could perform in that spot, but I'd like to have them more as depth. And right now, we have them as our top 2 relievers, so besides Moda. Nobody in AAA is really catching my eye. Pierce George is too young. It'd be Cole Seamus, but his ratings aren't very good, and he pitched okay in AAA, but I'm not. He might be a last-minute 40-man ad. So that's about it for that right now. $56 million to spend. That's what we're looking like here. And I mean, I'll show you the trade block. There's really not all that much out there. Yeah, not a lot. Not a lot of bats either. I mean, I'd love to improve the offense somewhat, but I think that's going to come with Bichette. Actually, I'll send out an offer to him right now. $5.5 million for him. Insurance for Ahuna. Let's go 4.5. All right, 1 year, 4.5 for Bo Bichette. I probably should start offering these veterans more than 1 year deals, but I think it functions closer to what real life would be with a guy coming back from a year-long injury. He doesn't want to lock himself into a long-term deal. If he plays well, then he'll be rewarded. Bichette's only 27. Taylor Rogers, I think I'll send out an offer for to be our number one lefty. $5.5 million. What about 6? No? I don't want to give you 2 years, man. Can I just fudge with the vesting option? I want you to finish 30 games. You're not going to close for us, so have fun with that offer, Rogers. I think Jonathan India. I'll tender you a contract. $1.3 million. Mendez, too. Come on down. Get you for $900K. No? Oh, 1.1. Sure. Mendez, Abreu. I don't care about any of these other guys. So, Cease and Bueller, we know they're out there. We have the offers out. I actually forgot to check the international free agents. Where are they? Let's see. Matsura is already on Minnesota, and he's not any good. Yoshinaga, Salinas, spark plug, but he's a righty, and I'm not interested. Aguilar, no. Vargas, Kida, Hatakeyama, nope. All right, that'll do it. So I will make another video when we reach opening day 2026. Team's in for a change. Youth movement's already afoot. I'm going to try and lock down this starting rotation because I think that's the most important thing we're missing right now. I think we still have the bats to compete. Like if Varys repeats what he did and he doesn't hit a wall, if Ahuna comes up and he's a good player, Kath is our DH and Vaughn. And also Pena. Like if Pena wants to make some noise in spring training, I won't hesitate to add him to the 40-man, and I'll try and my best to find at bats for Wes Kath. I'm going to train him in left because this is kind of a revolving door. Chappelli, Gonzalez, Tatum. It's one of their jobs to lose, but if they don't produce, I'll put Kath there or I'll put Pena. That's the nature of it with all these guys that are kind of interchangeable. So I'm going to look around for some moves, too, that would spend some more money. I think I'm willing to keep about $20 million on the books to bring back either Cease or Bueller. At this point, I don't think bringing back Cease is realistic, but we'll see. You never know what can happen. You never know how a player's motivations can change. Anyways, I'll be back opening day 2026 up next.